So, doctor, the other day we had a chat about the mental health and the stigma of mental health.
Yes.
You said some very valid points about mental health. What do we mean by mental health anyway?
Well, as we were discussing before, mental health really has to do with your thoughts, feelings, and behavior. So it's the interaction or the play between thoughts, your feelings, and your behavior, right? And it comes in, for me, I view it in many different dimensions. So mental health isn't just about, people related to maybe diseases like depression or anxiety, right? And people make these diagnoses very quickly these days, right? Where it might not actually be a full diagnosis. But then there's the other aspects of spirituality and dealing with your emotions and dealing with belief systems. Belief systems is huge, even when it comes to health belief. So when for example, when I have a client who's coming and they come to me because they think they have depression, right? We end up going into the whole realm and we figure out what are the actual physical symptoms, what are the manifestations of this, what are they thinking, what are their belief system that makes them believe that this is happening because this is happening, that sort of thing. So it's a whole interplay.
It's all connected.
It's all connected. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So if you view it like that, for me, it takes away the stigma. But the stigma, you're right, is there because people see it as a strength versus weakness state, right? Nobody wants to be perceived as being weaker.
Is it being perceived? If I have a mental health issue, I'm less than others, and because I feel I'm less than others, I'm not going to reveal it. I might suffer with the mental health. I might suffer with OCD, PTSD, depression, major deep depression, bipolar, etc., etc. But you know what? I'm going to keep it inside and hoping nobody will notice. But guess what? We're like an open book. People will receive us one way or another. So is it better to go out to a professional like you and deal with it, or is it better to keep it inside hoping nobody will discover?
No, support is key, right? For anything that you're going through in life, especially in the realm of the unknown. So yes, you may go online and you may read, or you may have a different perception of, or you listen to what others say. But when it comes to you, how do you know what's happening to you? You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't rely on Dr. Google.
Exactly, right?
Too close.
You need, and or that friend who I went through the same thing. This is what helped me. You have to be careful because your friend doesn't know your whole story, and that's really important.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Absolutely.
It can just be like the tip of the iceberg, and then underneath is the rest of everything else that you've experienced and what you've been through. It could be totally different to someone else.
Yeah.
So what Elise is saying is your story is completely different than someone else's story.
It will always
Although
be.
you might be living in the same house, you might be a partners.
Exactly, but your version of it will be very different.
Your version will be different.
Yeah, your
absolutely.
version of what you're going through, and that's why for me, it's always about being able to self-validate what you are experiencing and not compare yourself to what somebody else is experiencing, or they went through this and they did it better than me and I am struggling. Why?
Even if two people living together going through the same dilemma, one might take it easier than the other.
Exactly.
They will not receive it with the same weight with it.
Because we all have different personalities.
And
we
levels of
all have
sensitivity.
different,
Yeah, exactly.
strengths.
So
and
Teresa,
weaknesses.
how...
We all have-
Sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying we all have different strengths and weaknesses in different areas of our personality. So what might seem okay for me might not seem okay for someone else. Or
You're right. Even sometimes, when you are in an emotional situation, you might drop tears before the other person. Doesn't mean the other person is less than you, less emotional than you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's just the way we are. We're all different. We're all unique.
True.
But it's how you're perceived, right? It's how you
That's right.
think you will be perceived.
That's
That's the it's
we
a
always
challenge.
worry what people think of us,
What-
which
yes.
is why we don't talk about things. But I totally agree with you. I'm a great believer in we think, we feel, we act, and we have.
Exactly.
So we create our reality from what we're thinking. So when we question what we're thinking, which is purely based on our own individual belief systems.
And it's human.
And it's human. Nobody's wrong or right. There's no wrong or right. It's all there to teach us something. When we think, we see an image in our mind, then we feel something that's attached to that image, and then we act, and then we have, and that having, that getting, is the result of what we're thinking.
Yeah.
But also, I think about mental health is, you know, a lot of the fear is that as an observer of someone with mental health, we don't see it. We can't tell what's going on, so we're afraid. So we want to shut it down. We want to just ignore it. It's like, oh, cop yourself on, you know, shake yourself off, get up and
Man up.
you know, listen to some music, go for a run, go to the gym, you know, let's go out. But it's absolutely got nothing to do with the actual issue.
Yeah.
You know, if someone had a sore leg and they were limping, I don't know if many people would say, oh, shape yourself up and come for a run. You know, it's really an invisible
That's
thing.
a good point, actually.
Yeah, you have to go to the doctor to get it fixed.
And we
to get it
would,
looked at.
and we would.
And we would, yeah.
But sometimes it's okay, you know. I still think that sometimes it's okay to put that plaster temporarily, but don't think that that's the solution.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's important to
Yes, until it
distinguish.
seems too much.
Yes.
But we are burying
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
I think we're sweeping things under the rug when
we
we're-
don't want to do that, right? But we still want to give ourselves that space sometimes. Sometimes you do need to take yourself out.
Yeah.
You have to,
True,
right?
totally,
In order to
totally.
survive. Like, you have
Out,
to.
you mean isolating yourself, or
No,
out to
no,
go to
get yourself out of your thouts and go out and do
Yeah,
something,
do
meet
something,
people
yeah.
and get social, or change your energy in your environment.
Like you mean
distracted?
shelf it for a while and then
yeah,
like, if you're
well,
feeling-
just change your
Yeah,
energy
just
so
a
that you
little
can see
bit.
how you feel when you're out as opposed to when you're not out. You
Yeah.
know, to notice. I think notice is a big word. We should observe ourselves.
Awareness.
What happens when I do this? What happens when I do that? How interesting that I felt okay there but not there.
So what about with, for example, with men? There's
Thank you
more
very
of a
much.
stigma. Sorry,
What's wrong with you, Abby?
what's wrong with men? No, but with men,
Too many things.
there's more of a stigma with men, don't you think? Because women naturally, we gather, we get together, we talk, we chat, we talk. It's not natural all the time for guys to get together and have a, you know.
I don't think so necessarily. Yeah?
Maybe not so much now. It's less than that now.
Yeah.
They're
But
talking
even
more.
men in their circles, like if it's something that's encouraged, men actually share a lot without even recognizing that they're sharing a lot, you know?
Okay.
But to
Yeah.
be honest, I am with you halfway.
Yeah.
Why? Because as a man, you know, most of the time we see ourselves that we are capable of doing many things, and not being able to think in a healthy way would be stigma. And therefore, do I want to share my stigma? High likely.
They wouldn't
No.
share, it's how they share it. It's different. Men do it differently.
Yeah.
Women will do it with the whole emotional everything, and not with a man. A man does it differently because they protect themselves and they protect their vulnerability, say,
Yes.
right? They don't want to be
True.
as vulnerable or perceived differently. That's how I see it anyway.
As weak,
but
yeah.
they do share. They share, but so it's important, especially for the women in their lives, to listen. Because they're not going to express it the same way we are expressing
Okay,
it, but they
yeah.
will express it.
So are you
Yeah.
listening? Dr. Farah is saying, give the guy a chance to talk, because otherwise he will go mental.
I also do believe, though, that traditionally, boys are brought up differently to girls.
I agree.
True.
And that leads to the way the adult expresses himself or herself. So when we see someone under stress, we can pretty much see how they reacted as a child. And when men don't express themselves, when they can't tap into their vulnerability, when they're afraid to be showing their emotions, they may not have been allowed to as a child. It would have been too risky for them.
I agree with
It could be
you.
a difference as well, you know. It could depend on their role or their position in their workplace or in their society or as head of the home, right? Because remember, the role itself has criteria that defines who you need to be or how, you know, that matching, you need to match that.
But the
right?
thing is, though, when men's lives don't go well, they tend to blame the external.
right.
Whereas when women's lives don't go well, they go internally a lot more. They look a little bit more about what's wrong with
I'm not
me.
sure
I don't know.
about
I'm
that.
not sure I agree 100%. Yeah.
I just see that from my clients. My
Yeah.
We have
female
seen so many
clients-
projections here.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
It's
clients
like my husband, my mother, whatever, the government,
yeah.
it's this guy, my
Exactly.
brother.
Yeah, well, it's all projection. Absolutely everything. There's not a minute of our lives that's not projection.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, the clients that I'm seeing, the females are more likely to come and talk about what's going on for them. They always want to question them. But the men will question their wives. They go, girlfriends, they've lost their job, you know.
I think that, again, that's probably where the conversation starts for them, because it's not that they're not expressing it, but that's just how they express it,
how they start,
and that's how they get the ball rolling.
But if they don't come and see someone, that's where they stay,
and that's where they stay. But that's why it's important as the people in men's lives, right, to know the difference, and even for men to know the difference in how women react, because sometimes you hear it, you know, oh, she nags, or she always has a problem, or she's always complaining, she's not happy with who I am. You know what I mean? So this is again another way. Is it something that the woman is actually feeling, or is it something more of attention that she needs to get? So it's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's,
So what
it's a
you're saying-
conversation, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a true conversation to find out what's going on.
So what you're saying, men still express themselves,
They
yet
do.
they have their own way.
their own way of doing it.
I agree with you,
Yeah.
but not all the time. I have seen men who, unfortunately, rather suffer
Right.
than express themselves
Yeah.
one way or another, especially in the front of a woman.
It depends on their safe space.
Yes.
So if the safe space isn't created, right, and I think the safe space is
Are you talking about a
mutual-
wife?
Yes.
You agree?
Ideally, it should be
Wherever they
technically
feel safe, they're going
wherever
to feel
they
open.
exactly.
But you can be in a relationship
about-
and have a safe space, but yet the man does not feel comfortable in
Well,
expressing
then it's not
himself.
safe.
Yes, but
It's
he
not
may never have
perceived
felt
as
safe.
safe.
But they
Exactly.
He may never have
It
felt
may-
safe, and so the wife
And he
just
doesn't
getting
know how to express, maybe.
Are you everybody's listening here? Everybody's listening to Teresha, please.
No, it's just that they may never have felt
Yeah.
safe. They may have grown up in a very difficult situation.
So they have to learn.
Where they learned
Yeah.
to never speak about what's going on. And
Right.
so even if they marry the most kindest, most gentle, most kind and open, loving
won't
woman,
happen.
they won't open up because maybe they're afraid of losing her if they show vulnerability, because
Yes.
that's what would have happened.
Very.
It's a
So I
perception,
think
yeah.
there's a lot in it. This is a very big conversation.
There's a lot
That
to
is a big
consider. As a
conversation.
guy, there's a lot to consider, especially expressing yourself to the deepest point of your inner being, you know, expressing all these kind of secrets, especially mental health. Really, if I tell the other, exactly what you're saying, if I tell the other person who happened to be my probably romantic love, would I lose her? Because to a guy, a woman to a guy is like, safe, is like home, is like serenity, is like more than that,
Mother.
tranquility. Mother. That's very important. Actually, I avoided saying it,
Yeah.
but thank you, Teresha, is a mother
Which
because
is not healthy.
which
It's
is not
not
healthy.
healthy.
But it
But
is
the first
when they look for the
relationship
mother,
with this
it's not
guy-
healthy.
Yeah.
the
No,
first
but
relationship with a guy in this world was with a mother, with a female.
And they look to reproduce that.
Exactly.
But that's not fair
That's
on the
not
woman.
what it is.
And it's not fair on him.
No, but your job as a wife is not to raise him, right? So
Yeah,
that's not. We're not the
parents an
parents.
adult?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
come
You
on.
don't parent adults. Exactly.
Ours actually, quite often.
Yeah, you don't. It's not in the job description. We have to look at it,
yeah.
right?
Do you take this lawful wedded man to be your child?
So
To bring him up the way he should have been brought
yeah,
up.
exactly. Or retrain, reprogram.
And to punish him when necessary.
But isn't it,
Poor guy.
isn't it you two guys together? I mean, I'm talking about romantic love now. Isn't you guys together for good and bad? And this is probably a difficult time, a challenging time for
It's a
him.
two-way
So he
street.
sees you as a mother, as you said. So you can
We need
be,
to probably
be
change that
a remedy,
concept,
or you
you
can
know?
be a pain.
That can change.
No, but you could change. We have to change, and I think it's a two-way street. It's one for
it's
him to
two-way,
recognize that I am not your mother. That's number
What
one.
you saying?
All right. But care doesn't have to be from a mother alone, and even if someone doesn't feel safe within that relationship they're in, they need to be able to find another safe space, and it could be a healthy safe space, like
Or
going
could
to
be
a
another
professional.
girlfriend.
It could be a professional,
Many,
right?
Many, right?
That is not
No.
a safe space either.
I'm-
you know, just saying.
I'm not sure if
But-
I'm with you. You know why? Because now this is a guy who, we're talking about men now, this is the guy who happened to be vulnerable for one situation or another. And if he goes to his wife, girlfriend, whoever, his partner, and the partner says, you know what, I'm not available for that reason as well. What do you think the guy will do?
So that's what I'm saying. Go to a safe space, meaning a professional.
Safer space
like a
means
professional.
some application, hi, you know,
No,
I'm
no,
there.
no. That's the thing. You have to go and
maybe
know-
together.
Yeah, go to exactly. You could even do it together. Say I need help. I need go to a doctor who might understand, psychologist, a counselor. There's so many different options.
Well, it
to
might
create
not
a
be
safe
that
space.
severe, I understand. If he's going through really neurotic things, absolutely. But if this really minor thing, like work-related or a small accident or something, then absolutely I'll come home
but then
hoping to find the
some comfort.
tranquility and comfort.
Yeah, and that's fair enough, because the woman would want the same.
Yeah.
You would want to come home to a safe space, and if the husband himself is not feeling that, then that relationship needs to work. Then you probably need to go get marriage counselling or something.
You wouldn't
but
get
there's
married and say
something
you're
that
on
you
your
need
own,
to do. Yeah, I mean,
it's not like that.
Yeah, and
Figure it out.
and even if you go towards other women,
I'm not available now.
no, but if you're
I'm
not
only
feeling
available
safe,
in Dubai Mall. I'm not available.
because if you're not feeling safe with your wife, chances are you're not really going to feel very safe with someone else.
Yeah.
Right? Because
So you hide a lot, and you don't
you
reveal
create
much.
another problem, or the illusion of happiness. You create an illusion of an escape, maybe,
Yes.
but it's not a full escape, because then you're just creating
Yes.
another problem.
Doctor, sorry, you want to say something? Go on.
No, I was going to say there are a lot of women's groups and women's circles, and women do get together and gather, and we talk about our problems. We do discuss things and experiences, and I think men should feel like they can do the same.
They do.
Agreed.
They
We
do.
do.
They do.
Yeah.
There are men's
Yeah.
groups.
Yeah.
Many, actually.
Are there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Many
But they
dads
talk
in
about
Dubai,
other
there are
things.
But
many-
they talk about other things.
We talk about tools, we talk about bridges, we talk about building rockets, we
wonderful
talk
group
about
on Facebook.
building cars.
There's a wonderful group called Dads in Dubai.
Okay.
Because they're coping with fatherhood and
Right.
adjustment and issues in family and separation with children and
Yeah.
things like that. So yeah, I think that there are quite a few groups.
They
you
are,
know.
100%,
That's
yes,
nice.
they are. Now,
Amazing.
in one word, how would you describe mental health, doctor?
In one word,
Yeah.
I can't find one word.
Find two. Find two.
Yeah.
Okay, balance for you.
Okay.
Yes,
Balance.
I agree.
Yes, that's a hard question, Abby. I have to really think about it.
Okay.
with
One word is a
Yeah,
Elise?
one word is very
Elise?
restrictive.
Mental health is, I think finding balance in yourself. I think balance is a really,
Balance?
really good.
Okay,
really
you
good
guys
word.
say-
I
Saying
think
balance?
I would say
Balance?
no,
Connection?
insight. Yeah,
Insight,
insight.
yeah.
Right? Because
Yes, awareness, self-awareness.
yeah, self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
Yeah. So if I have to say related to one word, it would be that. So have a ability just to know yourself, because that's the key. That's the starting point.
Yeah, lack of
You know.
self-awareness is
Who
going to
am
cause
I?
many
Yeah, more
issues.
problems. Yeah.
So you're saying balance, self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
Elise is saying balance. This is nice, absolutely nice. So, we spoke about mental health. We spoke about mental health stigma with men, especially. Mental health. It's a very subjective topic, and you can define it the way you want, especially if it is related to you, or the way you see it, or if you have experienced it. But the way I see it, to be honest, is I add my voice to Risha, Dr. Farah, when she said it includes psychological aspect, emotional aspects, and behavior aspects, and I will add the way also how do you manage stress plays vital role in balancing your mental health. When mental health starts, of course, from the day you were born, and when does it end? When we leave this life. Mental health is absolutely deep and very diverse topic. Having said that, we all go through mental health, and we must look after our mental health and our partners, our family. Tell us more. Tell us about your mental health. How do you define mental health? And if you have experienced something about mental health, please share with us. But for now, we say thank you for watching us. Bye-bye.